Speech is man's faculty of oral communication. Again, speech is man's faculty of oral communication. It is here that we express our thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. It is through speech that we transmit expressions of love, trust, compassion, etc., or anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, trust, etc. Speech can be a tool for good or for bad. You can make friends or, for that matter, enemies by the way you use your speech. In Matthew 12, verse 37, we read, "By your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." Speech is one critical area in a Christian's life, and this is one of the topics that are covered quite extensively in Scripture. God is concerned about our speech because of its great power. According to Proverbs, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Our words therefore translate thoughts of our hearts into patterns of behavior that harden into habits. Good ones like joy and faith, or bad ones like depression or discouragement. Our speaker for today is a graduate of CLP number 15 of Quezon City chapter, and is the first batch that started with Quezon City. Because before daw nasa Makati or Green Hills, North Sector. Okay? He has been active in the BCBP since then. Siyempre, as action member, naging action group leader, naging unit leader, and very active sa mga outreaches. Baguio, Manila, may nakalimutan ako pangatlo, Angeles. So lahat sila nag-umpisa because of this person. Is part of the team. As a profession, he is a lawyer. And he has been very active in the political scene. So, naging senior attorney sa National Investment Development Corporation, department manager, chief legal counsel of various corporations, chief of staff. Pinakamahirap ito, public elementary school teacher. May dadayon pa ba doon? Walang sinabi yun sa political niya. Yun ang pinakamahirap. He's also a chief legal counsel for PUP, bar reviewer on land titles and deeds. Naging dean rin siya ng PUP, College of Law. He is married to Atty. De Lapiña. And actually, ito yung pinakamatindi dun sa service niya. Siya kasi yung nag-head, yung sinundan na CMP ng CMP 44. Sino graduate ng CMP 43? So, kita nyo, from CLP 43, naging active na kagad for CLP 44. So, anong ibig sabihin nun sa inyo? Challenge. Yung susunod naman, dapat active na kayo. Diba? Kayo naman ang mag-lead. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Atty. Roseler Nonoy De Lapiña.
Thank you, Susan. As I was being introduced by Susan, I was murmuring a little prayer. Please forgive Susan for the excesses of her introduction. I like very much the line when you said that I was a school teacher. As a school teacher, I was very strict. During that time, corporal punishment was still allowed. So if I see a pupil not listening to me, I used to throw a chalk on him. Or if not, I will kneel in front of the class, give him an assignment of so many things that I myself did not understand. Okay. Many are afraid that I might be giving a talk more than the time frame given to me. But just the same, I am tempted to just read it so that I will be able to comply the time given to me. I regard this privilege of delivering to you this topic, speech and wrongdoing, as an imposition upon myself two obligations. One, that of being brief. Two, to speak only on such relevant things intended and calculated to merit your attention. For a breach of the first obligation, I should be without any excuse. For the second, it is difficult for me to say that I have to beg and rely upon your kind forbearance if I fall short. Now, intro. Babasahin ko lang. The role of the tongue in our speech. This portion of your BCLP, speech and wrongdoing, steers and shades as the most difficult and controversial issue in the BCBP community, for the simple reason that if properly used, it may unite us. If improperly used, it will divide or split us apart. Like time and money, speech is our regular and constant tool or instrument. Our social and emotional investments pertaining to our relationships with our loved ones, among these members, and society in general. By nature, all of us have our own good and bad tendencies, like impulse of charity and impulse of selfishness, the desire to be truthful, and also the desire to lie. In the theater of our own minds, we are the inseparable actors to perform our inherent role as a person. That is to stay awake, to be alert at all times, considering that every line of words that we utter are the responsible bits and pieces, either to open the doors of opportunity or close and seal them shut. Words after words, unspoken words, are as much a part of us embedded under our skin. Further, through the years, words have been always being pressed between the pages of our minds, following the natural craving to improve our appetite, craving for life's true meaning and continuity until our last breath. What is so evident about truth, about speech and wrongdoing? Proverbs 18, verse 21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." There are three elements of truth about the nature of our words. Words are a gift from God. God was the first one to harness the creative force of words. And God has entrusted us with the same ability to use words to create the world around us. Therefore, we have to show respect and reverence to the giver of words. So that's our God. Now, second element of the nature of our word is this. Words can build up or tear us down. The simple was said a while ago. And then the third is that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our words. Meaning the quality of words we speak will influence the definitive path. The quality of words will influence the definitive path of our life's way and direction. See, by and through the words we speak, our life's direction is weighed and measured to force a pleasing and congenial image of our moral and spiritual survival as a busy number. By and through the words we speak, our speech could lead our life's direction to disciplined, educated judgment in nurturing our desired paradigm in every stage of our life, while creating the lighted pathway we are led to. Of course, this is with the help of the power of the Holy Spirit. The words we use in our speech are so much more than words and syllables. They are the reflections of the condition of our being and our personality. But be that as it may, words problems are not just word problems. They are heart problems too. As Matthew, in the book of Matthew 15 verse 18, it says that things that come out from the mouth come from the heart. If our heart is filled with bitterness and impurity, we are going to speak bitter and impure words. On the other hand, if our heart is full of love and care, we are going to speak encouraging and empowering words. Well, the study of neuroscience reveals that knowingly or unknowingly, there are psychological boundaries silently hidden somewhere in the corner of our mysterious mind, persuading us to utter words that create love and peace, or tempting us to speak bitter or impure words to create hate. Huwag kayong matulog, wala akong chok dito. Consciously or unconsciously, with the existence and functions of your psychological boundaries in our mind, willfully we can choose and direct ourselves to speak words to bring life, words of love, encouragement, comfort, celebration, designed by our insatiable appetite to protect ourselves from the pernicious assault against our values and morals. Willfully and psychologically, we have to immunize ourselves with the passion-driven virus or antibodies of life-bearing words to defend ourselves from and to avoid wrongdoing, to shun and spurn words of death, of criticism, of gossip, of complaint, and of hate. Therefore, we can make a strong psychological decision of the will to focus on positive and life-giving words. Our words reveal what lies deep inside us, whether we want them or not. That's a fact. In the BCPP, ours is to hold on the gift of a clean heart that God has given us. Imperatively, we have to thank, acknowledge, and submit to the truth of having a God-given heart protected by the backbone of our temper, steel, to keep us still. Presently, technology dampened the ocean and the skies full of internet garbage. Our only job then is that through the use of our cell phones, keeping as our inseparable pocket companion in our daily lives, it requires reasonable caution. It being a tool also on what we call fingered speech. Similarly, writing is also a way of talking. These two communication tools are also the current precursors of speech and wrongdoing. Thus, the warehouse of awareness stored in your mind can do something to sanitize both texting and writing to come up with speech that brings life. Mindfully, however, mundane affairs of life will tell that although people can tame all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and fish, no one can tame the tongue. For wanting of constitutional faith and authority, Congress cannot even pass a law taming the tongue. The Supreme Court has no power to justify and introduce a jurisprudence taming the tongue. The executive department cannot even tame its own tongue. Evidently, mundane life is also telling that the tongue must Nasaan ba ako? Nag-iisip tuloy ako, sino bang gumawa nito? Evidently, mundane life is also telling that the tongue, small as it is inside our mouth, can lead one to press the button, the atomic button, to worldwide Armageddon. Nakuha ko rin. So that they say the tongue that is mightier than the sword. Malapit na ba rin? Please. Magbasa lang. Tagal pa. Malapit na ako. Tongue is restless and evil, full of deadly poison. Sometimes it praises our Lord and Father, and sometimes it also curses those who have been made in the image of God. And so, blessing and cursing can come out, pouring out of the same mouth. This is taken from James chapter 3, verse 2 to 11. The battle over our own words within ourselves rages every day on the basis that our human spirit constantly demands self-expression. Every time we speak, we choose a side. Remember, the most influential person who will talk to you all day long is you alone. Be careful with yourself. Cautiously, uncontrollable and uncontrollable situation during our self-talk, we have to exercise our will to exercise the violence of lies from inside out. Don't let your tongue be your master. Choose to master it instead. A tongue unchecked blows shameful bubbles of dominance and agonizing supremacy on our personality. Simply put, we can even bite it with our teeth. We have to vigorously assert, therefore, to exercise our personal sovereignty over our own tongue. Because tongue is like a sharp-built knife installed in ourselves. It can kill you even without draining or bleeding a drop of blood from your body. But learning to hold our tongue requires a certain degree of humility. It takes a realization that our opinion may be the best or most important, but we should not have that kind of opinion in the PCBP. All right. Let me go now to speech that breathes life. There are 3 spiritual verses about our speech. One is taken in Ephesians 4 verses 29, and it says, "Do not use harmful words, but only helpful words, the kind that build up and provide what is needed, so that what you say will do good to those who hear you." Another one is, your speech should always be pleasant and interesting, and you should know how to give the right answer to everyone. So then, we must always aim at those things that bring peace and that helps us strengthen one another. Oh, I have to skip some pages so that I can cope up with the time. Yeah? Now, our speech is affected by our own thoughts. No? That's the reason why we have to watch for our thoughts, because they become our words. We have to watch for our words, because they become our action. We have to watch for our action, because they become our habits. We have to watch for our habits, because they become our character. And we have to watch our character, because it becomes our destiny. Kala niyo, akin yun. Hindi tinupya ko lang yun. In the exercise of personal sovereignty over our tongue, allow me to tell you some 3 basic truths of our thoughts in the mind. 1, you cannot control the thought that pop into your mind, into your head, but you can control what to do with them. Bisaya talaga, no? With them. B, thoughts will always have much power as you give them. The more you dwell on certain thought, the more powerful it will become. 3, it is not the same to have wrong, negative, or tempting thought pass through your mind. Dumadating talaga yan eh. If you just let it through, it becomes the same when you choose to indulge that thought, either by dwelling on it or acting on it. See? Gracious words are like honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. And that's Proverbs 16, verse 24. I have some unsolicited suggestions indicating ways how gracious speech should be done. 1, before speaking, take time to understand the situation, meaning you should have an insight. Discern Discernment is crucial. And let your wise heart instruct your mouth. Do not let your mouth instruct your heart, but it should be your heart that should instruct your mouth. When speaking, be prudent with your words. Use gracious words, especially when you have negative and contrary views. Then you should know the purpose of your words. The purpose should be to promote learning, encouragement, strengthen personal relations, and foster harmonious relations in the community. When you say something, you have to think. No? What is think? Before saying a word, you have to think that, are these words true? And then, if these are true, you have to say to yourself, are these words helpful? After saying that it is helpful, you will have to ask yourself, will it inspire? If it inspires, you have to ask yourselves, is it necessary? And thinking that it is also necessary, is it kind? So these are the five letters now. T, H, I, N, K. Think. Before you talk, try to find out if it is true. Then, is it helpful? Then, is it inspiring? Then, is it necessary? Then, is it kind? Yun. Tapos na ito. Hindi po eh. Now, elements of gracious speech. Alam na ninyo ito. Doon tayo sa speech that brings death. Piling ko ito kasi kailangan ito. It's not being taught in the BCBP. No? We are not teaching you wrongdoing. We are only trying to remind you. Because these are not the desirable way to do as a BCBP member. And there are some biblical reminders. If someone has done you wrong, do not repay him with wrong. Try to do what everyone considers to be good. This is Romans 12 verses 17. Another one is, all wrongdoers will be repaid for the wrong things they do. Because God judges everyone by the same standard. And that's Colossians 3 verse 25. Now these are the prohibitions on verbal aggressions. Ayaw natin ito sa BCBP. Number one is cursing. Cursing is opposite of blessing. Cursing is something that you invoke evil against someone. Cursing is offensive words in anger or arrogance. I have to remind you that anger is only one word from danger. Add D to anger. That's danger. Remember that. Before you get angry to talking to this guy whom you do not like, think. No? Kasi pag bibigyan mo ang iyong anger, peligro yun. Naghahanap kayo ng abogado niyan. And then we have reviling. Hindi rin ito pwede sa BCBP. Sinasabi ko ito, not because you have to do it. What is reviling? Pangalipusta. Lumalait. Maninirang puri. Naglalapas tangan. These are insulting or hurting verbal abuse to another. Next is guile. Minsan nahihirapan itong aking dila mag-pronounce itong guile na ito. These are what? using deceitful or misleading words with malicious intent. This is what we call skilled deception. Skilled deception, trickery. Katusuhan. Walang dapat maging matuso dito sa atin. Ito ang maganda. False witnesses testifying falsely in the court of law. Once I have a meeting with I'm one of the directors sa Integrated Bar of the Philippines in one of our conferences. We were all complaining about the people who are lying in court. Sabi ko, we can change the situation. We can reverse it. Why? If we refer them to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, they are telling lies. We will reverse it. We will say, I will tell lies, all lies, and nothing but lies. So that whatever they say, these are not truth, then the otherwise is the truth. But anyway, slander is speaking evil of another. It is malicious. No? Marami akong slander kasi. Mayroon bang self-defense sa slander? I was appearing once in court. I was not able to capture the word uttered by my opponent in court because medyo may pagkaunting bulul. And then, when I misheard him, sabi niya sa akin, Panyero, you clean your ears. Immediately, sabi ko, Panyero, you wash your mouth with muriatic acid. That is self-defense of slander. You know? But let's not slander anyone here, because we are fostering good relationship here. Blasphemy. No on blasphemy. Because this blasphemy is something that you talk against God. Ito maganda. Favorito ito ng karamihan. Gossip is talking about another person. Usually, it is character assassination or invasion of another's privacy. Talking behind the back. Well, it is so hard to work with people who are backstabbers or liars. Because these are phony people who talk behind your back and smile in your face. You know, they are talking against you at the back, but they still have the nerve to smile at you. We do not have that here. And then, ito ang maganda. Marami dito to eh. Discussing sometimes problem with someone other than the person. They hide behind the excuse that they are concerned and say they want to help to make things better. When all they are really doing is gaining subversive pleasure by gossiping about someone. Sasabihin, uy, i-pray natin si letter A. Bakit? Kasi nag-away ng misis niya kagabi. Binato lahat ng lahat to, pinggan ko, tsaka ingay. I-pray natin sila. Oh my God, you are destroying the person. Hindi maganda yun. Except for harmless gossip. Meron mang harmless gossip eh. Anong example? Huwag ka maingay. Maraming maganda sa siyalding yun. Pero huwag kayong maingay. Okay. Gossip can never keep secret. Remember that. Ito maganda. Negative humor. It is often funny. But at another's expense. No? Because it put other people down. It discounts, it ridicules somebody. Negative humor is a no dito sa BBP. Kaso nga lang, I will tell you one experience sa amin sa negative humor. Nagdadrive yung aking isang bro sa kotse. Sumakay yung dalawa sa likod. Ang sabi ng isa, bro, ang ganda ng headlight mo malakas. Sabi naman ng driver, ng bro na nag-drive, oo nga, bakit doon sa likod ang aking headlight? If you don't understand that joke, never mind. Okay? Now, wrongdoing is really misconduct, malpractice, unethical behavior. Bakit talaga ito? Because whenever a speech is corrupted, so is the mind. So corruption of any nature is wrongdoing. No? So we do not have to imprison ourselves in our fear and craving our past heartaches, embarrassment, and failures. Instead, we have to hear them. Oh, by the way, balik ako sa negative humor. Do you want some more? Oh, okay. Additional na pala ito dito. Grace period. Sa breakfast, it's a no-no. I have attended so many breakfasts, maraming breakfast na ang negative humor ay foul. We have to take note of this. Hindi lang ako nagsasalita dahil baka sasabihin lang, wala lang negative humor yan eh. Kasi pag nagtutok dito, nagbibigay ng humor, wala namang tumatawa. Kasi hindi naintindihan yung humor ko eh. Like say for example, sabi ng judge, binabasahan siya ng yung kaso, arraignment. Sabi ng court personnel, what is your plea? Sabi naman ng accused, not guilty, Your Honor. Tatakang judge, bakit nandiyan pa siya? Inanyan ng judge, why are you here? You called me naman ano. You said you're not guilty, you go home. Undeniably, human existence can never be silent. But it cannot be nourished by false words. Conversely, in the BCBP, we are the catalyst to a better life for ourselves, to the people we love, and the people around us, including those whom we dislike or metaphorically hate. One last word from a great philosopher that I know, and I read his statement, and I say, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Good day, and thank you very much. Any question? The chair hears none. Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, Mike.
Talking about speech, bad speech and wrongdoing. Kanina, you were saying it is a reflection of the heart. Or is it of the heart or of the mind?
You'll be
Gagaling yan.
kasi nasa nervous system natin yan eh. Our nervous system is also affecting our mind, this one. So there shall be a harmony of all these things, our mind, our lip, our heart. Ang pinakamahirap lang talaga ito. It goes anywhere. It speaks anything. No? So in the BCBP, kailangan we can a little bit tame our tongues.
And corollary to that ko, alam ko, hindi ka nagbabible, no? Pero nagamit ko sa Bible, what's the effect? And how do we repair the damage done?
Well, you call a lawyer. No. In the Bible, although hindi ako nagba-Bible, no? Kasi hindi ako marunong yan. Ano kasi ako, old school talk. No? Although mayroon akong iPhone, hindi pa rin ako, na-close na talaga ang mind ko. Ayoko yan. Kasi sa Bible, maraming mga, alam mo na, I don't have to explain. Now, that's the problem sa Bible. Pag halimbawa na defame or na slander mo yung tao, no? Masakit yun, lalong-lalo na marami nakakaalam. Yung culprit doon should also put doon sa Bible admitting na mali yung kanyang nagawa kung mali man. Kung totoo, ano gagawin? Yun ang problema. Pabayaan lang ba? Nandun na yung hurt. No? So, the system, our structures of BCBP will have to come into play. Like say, for example, nandun yung action group leader. Kausapin. And then, we have to set a meeting with the two to settle them. That is what we call in the BCBP. I don't know kung nabigay na. Yung talk about correcting with love. We have to correct ourselves with love. One basic example lang sa correction with love is this. If you would like to reconcile with somebody else, or if you would like to talk with that somebody who hurt you, number one requirement is pray. Lord, kung kakausapin ko, makakatulong ba ito? Two, look at your motive. Makikipag-settle ka ba o makikipag-away ka lang? You see? And then, three, think. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it encouraging? Is it necessary? Or is it fine? Did I answer your question, sir? Thank you very much. Any other question? Yung question na nahihirapan akong sumagot. Ang hirap eh. Nahihirapan akong sumagot dahil wala naging question. Gusto niyo ako mag-question? Wala. Okay, thank you very much.